Baby! Ho! Nauczyłem się Daft Punka. Daft Punka, Get Lucky się nauczyłem grać. Dobra, to okej, dobra, to okej, to nie przeszkadza, to potem jak ktoś... Aha.
Co tam?
Patrz. Słuchaj to w głośnikach? Bo ja nie słyszę.
No.
Okej, dobra. No to słuchaj tego. Normalnie mnie, ja kurwa dzisiaj sam u siebie... Czekaj, zobacz, czy to się nie nagrywa. O, się nagrywa. In my opinion, if I'm not, well, that's my opinion. In my opinion, you should be able to play like me right now. I think like at most in 6 months. That's my opinion. That if I would know a guy and this guy has no clue about guitar, then in my opinion it should take not more than 6 months to get him where I am right now, onto this beginner level. And it took me 20 years to understand what I was doing wrong when I was learning playing the guitar or pretending to learn on the guitar, because from the experience I can say that actually like the real training that I had, like I put, don't get me wrong, I put lots of hours, right, in my training, like lots of hours, but that only caused my frustration to grow, because I was putting hours, like hours, days, months, weeks, years, right, in the guitar, and I didn't see any progress. I thought I was still in the same place. I still couldn't play any song, exercise, things like that. And after 20 years, I think I understand, because that's probably because I know, like when I was 15 years old, I had some friends, right, that had bands, and those people were playing amazingly compared to me. And I was wondering why they can play so fluently and I can't. I still didn't understand that. So I bet that that's something with my this thingy with autistic. How do they call it? Aura, spectrum, whatever. Because it's very hard to well, sometimes it's very hard for me to understand things. So because you don't. So I had bad attitude when I was playing. Well, so the only thing what it takes in order to learn to play the guitar, it's only one thing what it takes. You have to know how to practice on the guitar properly. And I can tell you that if you would do in your life 100 real hours of exercise, you would be like Steve Vai or something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that most people, or I'll put it in a different way, people like me, they were putting hours, thousands of hours, and I didn't get any result back. And in my opinion, it takes only 100 hours that are needed to fully develop motoric mechanic in your hands in order to feel the rhythm and in order to practice something. And the idea is not to learn, because that was the idea that I had in my mind. One day I woke up when I was 14 years old and I listened to Technical Difficulties by Paul Gilbert, and I thought, okay, let me get some guitar. I need to play that. I am so in love with the song and with the guitar sound, etc., that I knew that I wanted to buy a guitar and I wanted to play the song. And that was my mistake, because I took one of the hardest songs, to play, and I tried to practice that song, and that was bullshit, because I never even practiced the song, because I was not even practicing. I know that I was sitting with the guitar, I was playing on the guitar, but that was not practice at all. and in my opinion, it takes you 5 to 6 hours to it should take you not more than 5 to 6 hours, I would say, like a quality exercise practice to get where I am right now. It's not about if you, because you know, I went in my life, I went to a I was taking lessons from guitar teachers, and basically that was 90% of those classes were the same. People were showing me a scale and they were saying, okay, train this. But I was asking them, but can you demonstrate me how to play this? Because I don't understand what, like when you like I like look, I am a guy that you know, tried to play on his own for 2 years, so I have like all bad habits that I could develop, so I have them. And I went to the guitar teacher and I asked him to demonstrate me how to practice, and he was not focusing on teaching me how to practice it. He was saying, listen, you should practice this major scale. Like, yeah, but okay, how? And he says like, yeah, do it with the metronome. Yeah, and but okay, even if I put the metronome, I mean, how, which practice is accurate practice when I know that I am playing good? Oh, you will get it one day. And and that's bullshit, you know. That's so bullshit, because in my opinion, I can, I mean, you know, it's, I'm of course over exaggerating by a lot, right? I know that, but it's like a leap, you know, thinking, because I can explain you this mathematically what you are doing wrong. The T-shirt says it all, I would say. I'm not. I don't know if you're seeing in the same way, uh, but it says I am an engineer to save time. Let's just assume that I'm never wrong. It's just a joke, but uh, badumts. So none of those teachers showed me how to practice. I mean, they were sitting in front of me, and the guy was, you know, look, Greg, it's easy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, look, no hands, no hands. And the thing is that I'm, because after 40 years of my life, I you know, I went for some tests, etc., and they discovered, well, they said that I have this autistic spectrum something, which like brings me to this opinion that it's probably just me that is so, I don't know, hard on understanding things. Sometimes I just need one sentence from somebody to connect all the dots. And but if somebody will not say this sentence, then I can learn a year or 2 years, but I will not, you know, connect. I will not be able to connect the dots. So ouch, that's not no fun. So I mean, there. So one day, you know, I watched a movie by Troy Grady. Like, this is, he's like famous guy that creates documentary with about playing guitar and so on. But I don't know. Maybe it was because it was in English. I didn't, you know, understand that much, or in that way, you know, because it was complicated. And but basically his aim is that it should be possible to explain how come there is a guy that he's able to play blazingly, you know, fast. And I'm not sure if it was this guy that said that he wants to prove that there is no talent in playing the guitar. It's just that he can take two random people, from the street, and normally it should be like this. Hey, listen, if you will read this book, you will be playing like Steve Vai. And hey, listen, you also, if you will read this book, you will be playing like Steve Vai. And all they have to do is to consume that knowledge, because that's the equal knowledge. And for some reason, this guy will suck at this, and this guy will be excellent. And there are some reasons why this is happening, right? And I think I understood more about myself because of this HD, how do you say this thing, ADHD, ACDC, ADHD, and this autism thingy. For me, it's very hard to train and very hard to practice something, because I think about those things in a different way. Like, I can't do things if I'm not good at it. So guitar is the worst activity for me, I would say, so because I want to do something and see like a visible result, right? That's what I want to see, but that's not the case. And with guitar, it's like with gym, it's like that you have to treat this as a journey, right? And you don't make huge biceps like after one visit to the gym. That doesn't work like this. It's about the whole process, right? It's the whole thing. It will take you some time, and it's because the reward is so far away. Then forget about the reward, just enjoy your way while you are on the road for that reward. And so that's one thing, that you are making progress every time you practice properly with the guitar. And every time you practice not properly, then it's just like a lost time. And not only it's lost time, it can also happen that you will implement into your body, into your muscle memory, things which will be not convenient for you, because those will be mistakes. So yeah, exactly, that as well. But that's just like one thing. So I was so stubborn with learning how to play the guitar, that I think 2 years ago I have decided that I will be playing, well, not every day, but let's say very actively. So if you will, so imagine this: you play on Monday for half an hour. Then, if you play on Monday half an hour, you play on Wednesday half an hour. Then, what you do, you actually make 1 or 2 days of break. So don't play anything, just rest. Then, after 2 days of rest, continue 3 days, half an hour, 1 hour practice. And the thing is that so somebody has to explain you how to practice. And when you will be doing half 30 minutes of practice in a proper way, man, after 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month, you would be poof, out of, well, you would be insane, right? But people like me don't even understand. Like, I was using, like, people around me were telling me, use the metronome, but I get it. I know it's metronome. I know how to press play. I know that it divides the the rhythm. But I didn't know what is that for. I didn't know, like, really what is this for. Like, why would I want to use this? It's stupid. It just, actually, it disturbs me more than helps. So if I would had a chance to tell myself from 20 years ago when it comes to learning guitar, is that you start with the metronome very slowly, like 20-30 bpm, and unless you will play it properly, like 1 2 3 1 2 3, 5 6 7 5 6 8, something like this with your fingers, and you can't play it accurately with the metronome at 20-30 bpm, then don't bother with playing it faster. So if you don't know, or if you don't feel, or if you don't understand how to play a phrase in 30 bpm, and what I'm talking is like a phrase, what I'm saying is that by phrase I mean by this. So I'm not sure how many days, hours, months, years it will take for a person, right? But all I'm saying that all it takes to understand how to use the guitar, how the mechanics work for hands, is to do this. And I guarantee you that if you will know how to play this, then you will know how to play it in 40 bpm. And if you will know how to play it in 40 bpm, you will know how to play it in 50 bpm. And sometimes people are wondering, right? Hey man, I am stuck at 80 bpm, I am stuck, or 120 bpm, and I am stuck, I am trying everything, I am stuck, like what holds me, blah 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 blah. And then you can see some schools of building the speed for your guitar and so on, which will not help you in any way. Because if you suck at I don't know, some exercise you had, or you suck at some song, so you will suck at this exercise as well. That's no brainer. So it does not matter if you will be training on a song or if you will be training it literally on those 3 notes. And all it takes to learn how to play guitar, right? It's around, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to understand this mechanic. But you need to understand the mechanic with 20-30 bpm, right? With 20. So I'm not asking you to like play something like with 100 bpm. So I'm not asking that. I'm saying that if you have a 20 bpm, so right, then you place the, let's say, four strikes evenly, right? Evenly. And when I say evenly, then evenly means evenly in time in the beginning. So you start on the correct moment. Then you will correctly synchronize the next finger with the previous finger, so they will be doing the switch like this. So there is no finger left behind press. So you learn how to do this. And if you can already do this, so, but that's a different value. So all it takes is to just take those 3 notes I know that, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I know that exactly. My hand is different, or I could have some issues with the back and so on and so on. But I can mathematically explain you, well, not explain you entirely, but lead you towards the place where you want to go. And the way, if you will be, here or here or here, that does not matter. I would just show you the direction in which you should, progress, and you will reach it on your own. So you will develop the how you gonna get there. I am just telling you where are you going. and you will be figuring how you're gonna get there, because sometimes it will take you 10 days to prepare your hands in order to start practicing properly. So it will take you time to start practicing properly, but essentially it's very straightforward, is that you have to train your left hand, your right hand, and then both hands playing with the guitar. So first hand this one, then hand this one, and then both hands. And both hands have to be 100%. It's like no joke. It's 100% accurate with the metronome. And not only you're supposed to be on time, you know, that's also about that you will be on time and you'll be within the time. So you are on time to press, you are on time to leave, to unpress, right? So you are on time with press, and you keep it, let's say, for to make math easy, 1 second. You know, one, you leave it, one, you leave it, one, you leave it. And let's say that if you will be playing 4 notes, right, with 4 fingers, one, you leave it, one, you leave it, one, you leave it, one, you leave it. This cannot be one and this one will be staying for 2 seconds, or this one will be for half second. They have to be, the fingers have to stay on the board evenly. So this note has to have 1 second, this note has to have 1 second, this note has to have its own 1 second. So it has to match. And now the answer to the question why I cannot play faster than 100 BPM, for example, right? Or 150, doesn't matter. And the answer is very easy. The reason why you can't play faster is because, let's say that if you suck at 120, then I am telling you, and don't be, well, you have to be objective, you know, you have to be very objective about yourself. So don't, no lies. So if you uneven, you are uneven. It's you know, 1 + 1 = 2. It's that easy. So don't lie to yourself, because I was doing this. I was pretending like I was on time, but I was not on time, whatever. So you have to be. So the reason that you can't play 120 BPM, it's because you cannot play this in 20 BPM. Because imagine this, when you start right here, this is like a 10 BPM, right? When you start here and you make here an issue that for that amount of, let's say that, you know, my hand should be here every time, every time, every time. And this is like, I'm representing timeline by this, right? But if you're somehow you're on already off by half, off by 3/4, and off by 1 now, and then you end already here, you end already here, and you off by 2 now. So the more notes you will play, the more notes, the more mistakes you will be actually making when you are make this faster. I forgot what I was saying. So the problem at 120 BPM is that seriously you cannot play that in 20 BPM, because if you knew how to play it in 20 BPM, trust me, when you are multiplying your base, let's say base accuracy, and your accuracy is 100%, then when you are starting to multiply 1 by 100%, you still get 1, right? But all it takes is just an off accuracy by, let's say, even 0.25, and every note you are losing 0.25 on time. So after already 4 notes, you are lost with what you are playing. So that's the whole point. So you start extremely slowly with the metronome, and this will allow you to feel the rhythm. And first you need to implement the rhythm in your left hand, and then rhythm in the right hand, and also rhythm with some play some YouTube rhythm games and play it on the desk. That will also do, because in the beginning, I was learning this on my driving wheel when I was driving car. So it for me it was I got blocks. Well, my thinking was blocking when I was even trying to hit with my hands with some different rhythms, and also exercises like this. And then also one more aspect to that, so metronome, and one more aspect, and this is the same big aspect as the metronome, so 50-50 I would say, is that so how do I get there, right? So I need to be able to sync with the metronome. So you will not be able to practice with the metronome. You won't be able to do it. I can already tell you, you won't be able unless you will do one thing. When you will start your practice will only count, right, when you will be relaxed. Okay? So you have to, like, majority of your time you will be using your time on relaxing, on figuring out, and I have no clue how you're gonna figure this out. I can give you an idea, how to get there, but the work you have to do. How to implement the relax mode for your hands. Yeah, yeah. So I take the knowledge from my years of self-sabotaging, because I was training improperly, and then after some time I decided that I have to figure this out before I die. So this was like very important for me. So how to prepare yourself to start practicing properly with the metronome, because trust me, you won't be able to play jack shit with the metronome if your hands are not relaxed. And you might think that you are playing fine up to 100 bpm, and then after 100 bpm you magically, you don't know how anymore. That's never the case. It just means that you don't know it from the start. Your base fundaments, there are no base fundaments, and you have to develop the base fundament for every pattern you will be playing. But that's quite complicated. But that's all. But that's not important now. But let's say that if you have a schematic like this, 1 2 3 1 2 3, so you will need to be prepared to learn that properly, that pattern with the metronome. And then if you would have this one, that's a different pattern, right? And you have to learn that from scratch again with the metronome. Now, how do I, so I thought that I was learning this with the metronome, but that was bullshit. I was lying to myself. I was not accurate on time always. Sometimes. No, this is not normal that your muscle burns. I can already tell you through that. Listen to me, my friend. If you play and it burns, that means that you are mostly playing that in a way that your body does not like it. And imagine that you have, let's say, like there are black metal guitarists and they play a concert for 1 hour and the guy, it's like, and like no sweat. So even if you are doing a tremolo, so playing like 200 bpm, 200 something bpm, you still, so the moment where you will making failures, mistakes when you play, it's when your either this hand or this hand, when they will get tensed up. So if this hand or this hand somehow, I don't know how, will tense up, you will suck. It won't work, trust me. And I can tell you how to do it with this and this hand. So with this hand, right? It's very easy. This is fucking no-brainer. This is fucking easy as, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's all you have to imagine. Take a hand in front of yourself, right? So you sit and take a hand like this straight, right? So you see in the camera that it's straight. Like there is a line, right? Straight. It's straight. Now I will reverse my hand, okay? So I will reverse it, right? So I'm keeping like this. Now once reversed, okay, you want to move your fingers. Right? It's quite hard. Now take your hand like this and do, it's easier, right? Now try to and that was my mistake. So if you will be doing this with your hand, so some people like me are doing this with their hand and it will get stiff and tensed up very quickly. That's because you are doing the tension, it's unnecessary tension. That's what I mean. You don't have to do this, right? Sometimes the shape of your hand, right? Sometimes it will bend, okay? It will bend sometimes. But the thing is that you don't bend consciously like this. You don't do this, right? Because if you, now I'm clearly over exaggerating, but if you'll be keeping like this, right, then it's way harder to press this, right? It's not impossible. All I'm saying is that it's way harder, right? And guess what? If you are keeping a guitar and you are doing some things with your fingers, the same logic applies to your hand while playing. So, you know why you suck when you practice? It's because you are creating unnecessary tension either to this or to that, right? Or it's also here. I can explain it later if you want. Actually, you should start from here and then it goes to the hands, but let's skip that part. So, in order to understand how tension applies to your wrists and how it ruins the way how you play, and it ruins your metronome, it gives you the inability to work with metronome correctly. So, how to prepare yourself, right? Take the easiest thing. Take guitar and put it almost too vertical, right? It's like this, next to the head. Then raise your left hand and 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 cover the fretboard with your hand, right? So what do you feel? Tell me. When you hold guitar like this, what do you feel? Because you can type what do you feel? Because my answer is this. If I keep the guitar like this, I feel I can just touch, uh, take the entire guitar, wrap my hand around the entire guitar easy, like no tension, no nothing, right? I can just keep it like this, easy, no tension, no nothing. When it's like this, right? Then you will notice that in the moment when you are putting your fretboard to be more horizontal, right? Like this, you have introduced a lot of tension already here. I already here feel the tension. So, I'm not playing guitar like this. Okay, I play like this. So how to level out yourself here? So you take this, you feel comfortable. Now it's not comfortable. So you take your left hand, and you look at your hand in this area of your hand. You look at this area of your hand. Look at this, like through that part. You look at this this point on your hand. Here, and you think about this point. Now, just put fingers like this. Just a little, just a little bit of your fingers here. Just anchor your fingers, just the tips of your fingers, right? Like this. And now, that's the most important, is that remember about this point, right? You still remember about this point. Imagine that you want to lose your hand. Hi, Joe. Yeah, it's doing fine, thank you. How about yourself? And you have to imagine that this point here wants to go down towards the ground. So my thumb, it's so the thing about your thumb, right, is that your thumb, it's like a pushing mechanism, right? Your thumb is just for pushing. Just don't take it too seriously what I'm saying, but for the sake of the argument, for the mechanics explanation, this is for pushing the guitar in this direction, right? Not to fucking hold it like this, etc., etc. It's just for pushing, right? So here we just push, just a little bit, like a tiny bit of force, tiny bit, and then you think about this point as it wants to fall down directly to the ground. So you do it like this, right? Like this. So the hand, it's not bended like this because you are bending it, but it bends because you are letting it down. So that's the reason why it bends, and it does not bend because you have bended it. So that's the whole difference. So think about it, let it be loose. So again, this goes to down to the bottom. So you let it loose, right? And actually, but that's like probably too complex for the beginning, right? But essentially, I think that best is to just hear it on acoustic, like without the power to the guitar. That you want to learn how to make a hammer on. That's what you want to learn, basically. So you would be, firing with your fingers. And it will take you maybe days or hours or seconds or weeks to get this to a point where it's loose, right? And then you will notice that somehow it's very easy to do hammer-ons. And then there is also one trick that you notice that, for example, for me, right, for myself, this finger, 1, 2, 3, finger number 3 is not working the same way, right? I have issue with, you see, with raising it. For me, it's really hard. I have zero control over that finger, and that's not because you know, that's because, I don't know, you're doing something wrong, etc. It's I am already bended too much, and I can't do it properly. So I have to again think about it. Let it be loose, right? Don't bend that much. Watch out for the bend. And maybe, you know, do this. Or if you don't want to do this, then move the guitar not towards you, but towards that, you know, there, not here, but there. Or you move away a little bit from the guitar, right? And if you will move it, push it a little bit from your body away, it's gonna be even more convenient. Because why? It's all physics and, you know, shit like this. Because your wrist gets, see, because you see, lots of bending, less bending, lots of bending, less bending. See, so your fingers get more relaxed. And when you will teach this hand to be relaxed, then you will turn on the metronome, and you will be just teaching yourself, I don't know, can be half notes, you know, so we'll be getting, and you learn this with 20 BPM. So it will take you, I don't know, maybe a couple of days. And once you have this, then you will take the pick, and once after you have learned, then you take the pick and you do exactly the same, and do the same. So it gets synced. And then 30, and so on, so on. And then you change the patterns, and so on, so on. But that's how you should do it. And for this finger, so it will work properly, because for me it's easy to make like this. This is easy. But when I want to use this finger, so then this is very not easy for me. But do this. Imagine this is your hand, right? Like that. And this is, again, it's, I am over exaggerating, but think about it this way. You want to have your fingers, right? Like this. You want to have the other half the opposite. So yeah, so what you do is like, see, you want to do this. You will not do it. I'm just saying that you think about it this way, that you would want to do it, right? You think about it. So I don't have the camera to show you the angle and so on, but when you start pushing your fingers, right, then again, in order to activate the I don't know how, tenderloins, I don't know how in English you call those things, but ścięgna, I don't know, tenderloins, I don't know. So in order to release it, the pressure on this is that you have to make a force, tiny bit of force, and this force is flying like this, like under angle, and it hits the fretboard like this. So how you apply this force? You move your this area, the surface, in angle, right? So you keep playing like you normally playing, So that stays, everything stays like the same, right? But then you will be, I am asking you to rotate your wrist a little bit, so that you can park your finger, and instead of doing this, right, you can do, I am doing this, but so I don't know if you see the difference. Not this, but this. Not this, but this. And when you will be playing, you will not be doing this, okay? But what you will be doing is that, not that, but it's like a little bit, it's a little bit less rounded. That's what I mean, right? And you get this by pushing this surface towards the fretboard, so towards this direction to me. So you see, you want to push your hand, so it's not a, it's like a static force. So you apply this force continuously, right? It's like a one force that is pushing your hand towards the fretboard a little bit, because when you will be pushing your hand towards fretboard, the thinking changes, right? Your brain works in a different way, your hand works in a different way. Okay, trust me. Well, that's at least how it worked for me. So suddenly I can use this finger the way I would use this, the way I do this. It synchronizes beautifully, no problem there, when you will be doing this pushing towards the fretboard. And the biggest mistake I was doing is that either applying too much force from this side, too much force from this side. Essentially, this hand that you have here when you have your fretboard, this is not for, I mean, this is not for squeezing it. It's not for squeezing this. This is just to hold it so that it won't wiggle too much. But basically, it has to be loose, right? Not because that's what I was doing. Like when one teacher I met in Białystok, which was not a teacher, but he was a luthier, he told me that I'm not going anywhere until I will stop. I don't know the word. Stop. I kept my fingers with the fretboard like claws, and everything was like, I wanted to, crush the fretboard. Too much force. It's unnecessary. So this is just to, make it stable, I would say. But neither this part of hand, so those, are not here to stabilize your guitar, and neither is this finger to stabilize it. This is just because you need to have a perfect surface, right? So that, see, if I will not keep my thumb, then it will, it will lay down on me. So I have to just keep it here, right? I'm not pushing it much, just a little bit so that it stays. And now the trick is that when you will be hitting with those fingers with the fretboard, right? Look, that's the whole thing that you have to hear when you will be practicing those hammer-ons. So think like, in the acoustic mode without no cable inside. You want to produce that kind of boing. I don't know how you say that in English, but that you have to cause the string to resonate in this specific way. So look. And if you won't be able to do it if you do not, with your thumb, you are supposed to just, you are with the thumb, you are keeping with your thumb the fretboard, in this position so that fretboard will not move when this finger hits it. So when the finger hits it, the finger from the back has to be provide the support only for this amount so that the fretboard will not do this. You know, it won't move that way. That's the only power you need, the force to your finger, to the thumb. That's all you need, the force to keep it in the way so that when you will be hitting with your hammer-ons, it will stay intact. And you know, it produces this metallic thing. Because I can show you how to do it without producing that. And I can already tell you that if you will be playing like this, then you will not hear anything. So that's why you're supposed to train like this. One finger down, one finger down, one finger down, one finger down at the same time. Don't train like this. I know you can, but don't train like this. It will make things a lot of easier. And just do this. So in my opinion, those mechanics, those positions of your body, the way how you keep the guitar, the way how you sit, etc., like if you have this or not, right? So after you will learn, so and when you are all relaxed, hunky-dory, you're in sync with the metronome, you're happy bunny with 20-30 BPM, then you gradually do plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. If your basic fundamentals, you understand the rhythm, you feel the rhythm in this hand, you feel the rhythm in this hand, then they both together can feel the rhythm, and you can feel the rhythm here. So you have to feel the rhythm here first, okay? In your head, you have to feel the rhythm first, because if you won't have that, then you won't pass that to your hands. So that in your head has to be also proper. And only then, when you will be practicing something for 30 minutes, only then I will tell you that, okay, you have been practicing properly for 30 hours. And I can tell you that if you would be doing this for 1 month, exercises like this, you would be probably way further than I am right now. Because majority of the time that I am wasting right now, it's to unlearn what I have, learned in the past. Because I learned in a bad way, that's what I mean. So I had to unlearn the bad habits. Okay, guys. Any questions? If not, I'm gonna call it a day.